Summer is right around the corner, and while I have shared some things that people very often forget to declutter when they're doing their spring cleaning or their annual deep decluttering, I would like to share some things that are specifically great to declutter before summer. Let's dive in. Let's start with cleaning supplies because hopefully your spring cleaning has come to an end. You don't need to be doing that anymore. But during the process of spring cleaning, we tend to accumulate new products and highlight the products that we didn't use because there wasn't enough left or they were too gunky or not good anymore. So, this is a great time to go back through, clear that area up, and give yourself a fresh start for a fresh summer. Next up is your kitchen cabinets, refrigerator, freezer, like all of the food products that you have. For us, we get really excited when summer's coming because it's like sandwiches and smoothies time. So we like to make space in our freezer for all of the smoothies we're going to be making over the summer. And the refrigerator gets full of like fresh fruits, which is wonderful, and fresh fruit juices and all of those good things. But that means moving out a lot of the stuff that was a little more exciting during the winter months. Basically going through and removing all of the expired foods or the foods that you're just not going to finish, and making space in your pantry, in your fridge, in your freezer, and in your spice rack for all of the new things that are about to be coming. Sifting through and organizing your spice rack and making sure that you have the right flavors that you're going to be wanting to use for your different variety of berry drinks and lemonades over the summer is going to make the whole process of making your little concoctions so much more fun. Number 4 is paper clutter. The kids are getting out of school, and if you have any kids in your house, then you're probably going to have a ton of papers to go through or to discard. You may even have your own personal business things that you need to go through and discard before summer. If nothing else, tax season just ended in April, so you might have tax documents that could be digitized or filed away. It's a great time to go through and make sure that all of the papers are taken care of. And if you need any help with going paperless in a day, I have a program for you down below. It's called Leap to Screen. You can see the link for that down in the description. Number 5, luggage and travel cases. Assess the ones that you have. Do they have broken parts that are going to mean you can't use them? Or if they're no longer usable, or if you're not willing to repair them yourself, you might be able to sell them at a discount. But at very least, go through your items. You might even find things that you didn't realize were still in the pockets or in the little zippers or cubbies. You can even clean them up a little bit, make them look all shiny and brand new so that if you do any traveling this summer, you feel like you have fresh new luggage. Number 6, sort through the kids' things because they're going to be wanting to play. They're going to have a ton of time off this summer. So looking through things like their clothes that don't fit anymore, the toys that they don't play with anymore, making some space for some of the new summer activities that are inevitably going to be showing up at your door. These are great things to either donate or pass them on to somebody else who can use them. Next up, garage and storage areas. You want to get to those before it gets too hot. This is something that we are about to be doing around here because we need to go through all of our camping supplies, and you likely do too, whether you're a camper or a beach dweller or whatever it is that you do in the summer. Now's a good time to go through and make sure that things are cleared out and orderly and that you can get to the things that you need to get to when you need to get to them. You can always sell or donate what you don't use or what you don't intend to use this summer. Another thing is digital files. As you come into summer, you're likely going to be wanting to take a lot of pictures. If you go on any vacations, you want to have the space for that. Luckily, I don't have to worry about that with my emails. I'm really good about keeping email at ground zero, but that's another area where you might be having some autoresponders on over the summer. You might be collecting some emails while you're off on vacation, and you want to limit that damage as much as possible so you don't have thousands to go through. I always recommend Kath Younger's digital clutter course. She has a free workshop I'll be sure to link down in the description. That's what I use. I use her Starbucks and archive method to keep my inbox at zero. It's really nice to not have all of that backup because that just takes up my mental space and stresses me out when I know I have all these things to respond to. But she also goes into things like, digital decluttering for your photos and for your drive spaces and all of that good stuff. So if you are finding yourself a little more cluttered on the email end or any other kind of digital files, I recommend at least checking out her free workshop because it's really helpful. The lightness of summer can call to the heaviness of our linen. So, if you have heavy, overstuffed linen cabinets or linen closets or cabinets that are just busting at the seams because they can barely hold all of your extra sheets and towels, now's a great time to go through and lighten those areas up a bit. And when you're done with that, go take a look at the laundry room. We're not just talking about the washer and dryer and the clothes, although if there are clothes that have been living down there on hangers because nobody ever goes for them or uses them, it might be a good time to go ahead and discard those as well. But what about your laundry tools? What about all of the laundry products and equipment that you keep down there? Do you actually need all of those things, or do you have some that are just gunky and mostly empty? Broken hangers, ripped towels. Make some space in the electronics and gaming area. That's probably going to get a lot of use if you have any kiddos this summer by getting rid of any old technology that you've been holding on to that you likely are never going to use again, or your previous two, three, four versions of cell phones that maybe you've held on to and hoarded just in case. Do all the video game controllers even work? Do you have all of the pieces that piece together, or do you have extra pieces that don't work? Are there consoles that your kid has maybe outgrown that you could look at selling this summer to make a little bit of space? You may not think that you need to declutter any sunglasses, but it's a good idea to go try on last year's sunglasses just to make sure they didn't get scratched up in storage. You may actually have some that you need to discard and look at getting some new ones so that you're not annoyed by viewing scratches as you try to drive around town. Faded or stretched swimsuits or swimsuits that don't fit anymore. What about photos and media memories? This is a really great one because I've had recent conversations with family members who were holding on to video recordings of like my great grandma or photos for years that ended up getting damaged in the summer from the heat. So don't hold on to all of these things, never taking the next step to digitize them, thinking that they'll always be there, because this could be the summer that they get damaged. It's worth taking a look, doing a quick evaluation to make sure that they aren't already damaged, and then see what you can do about getting them digitized or preserved. Just so you know, because so many people have asked me about this thing in particular, I have created a new program. It's not open to the public yet, but you will see a little sneak purchase pre-sale where you can get a big discount when you join Leap to Screen. So just letting you know that that's a thing. This new program is called Archive Alchemy, and it's going to be about digitizing photos, videos, 8 tracks, like all of your memorabilia so that it doesn't get damaged. If you haven't already for springtime, it's a great time to declutter any broken pots or planters and maybe tossing some plants in there. Nothing can make your clutter-free summer home more cozy than bringing in some plant life and some bits of nature. Hats that don't work with any of your outfits or that don't effectively block the sun. Unusable sunblocks from last year. You might actually want to open the lid, shake it up a little bit, see what comes out. Check out your attics or basements. Similar to the garage, you don't want to wait until it's too hot and too late before you go down and clear some of those things out. And you may have some things that you need over the summer that are up in the attic or down in the basement that you've forgotten about. Or maybe while you were spring cleaning, you shoved some things up in the attic or down in the basement, and you need to remember to refresh those and move them on out. And finally, craft supplies. Right before summer is actually a great time to clear out craft supplies, whether it's for yourself or for your kids, because summer tends to be a very creative, inspirational time of year, and it tends to be a time of year where you do a lot more things like artwork. Feel free to add some of your own ideas of things to declutter before or around summertime, some things that maybe are specific to you and your family. I'd love to hear them. And if you're looking for any inspiration or help on creating clutter-free spaces, whether it's clutter-free papers with my new program Leaf to Screen, or learning something like how to create a holistic clutter-free space for yourself if you're still working toward that, I have a free workshop that's down below. I'll chat with you next week.